So I'm going through the timeline, and I'm trying to take you from the early 2010s and bring you up to date. And I know that I'm spending a lot of time on this. I've only just made it to 2020, and I'm focusing a lot on comedians that are being, banned or get in trouble for what they say. And the reason why I focus on that so much is because stand-up comedy is because even though I'm like, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, even though I'm that type of person, I do understand that in life, like in normal everyday life, you do have to be courteous, and you do have to be polite, and you do have to be... We want a society where people aren't just hurling abuse at each other all the time. You don't want to be abusive to everyone. And there's plenty of times where I don't really want to hear someone's opinion. It's inappropriate sometimes. But that's my point, is stand-up comedy is supposed to be where you go. It's almost like a form of escapism. It's supposed to be, yes, we're civilized. We live in a civilized society, but we need some venting. We need some escape. That's somewhere to go, to let your hair down, put your feet up, and anything goes. And people say the craziest shit, because that's the point. And if you don't like what's being said, you can just not go to that comedy show. You went there. They didn't come to you. No one's bursting into your bedroom and saying things that you don't like. You went there and sat down to watch the comedy show. I was taking the piss out of Sarah Silverman with, you need to change with the times. The one time the times do change is with technology. Technology evolves, the things we use, the way we use them, and then that has an effect on human behaviour. And the time, we live in a different time now than we did 30 years ago because of technology. So yes, I acknowledge that. I understand that with social media, let's use stand-up comedy as an example. It used to be, you go to the show, you watch the comedy show, everyone goes crazy, you go home, go back to your civilised life. Anyone that wasn't at the show doesn't know about it. And if the comedian makes a video, you can buy the video, but if you don't buy the video, then you don't see it. Whereas now we've got social media and things get clipped and they get passed around everywhere and it goes viral, and it feels like someone is kind of barging in your bedroom and saying things that you don't like. But you still don't have to click on that thing. In fact, Dave Chappelle does that joke where he says all this stuff and then he goes, by the way, if you don't like what I'm saying, he goes, you clicked on my face, bitch. Because he's saying, stop clicking on my videos and then complaining about what I'm saying in the video, So, yes, the times do change when it comes to technology. We live in a different world. But that's not what Sarah Silverman and people like her, that's not what they mean. When they say you need to change with the times, they mean, hey, you need to keep up with our fucking rules. And that's bollocks. That's bullshit. And the other reason why I'm focusing quite a lot on this 2010s hate speech rules, cancel culture, watch out, you better watch what you say, even if you're a comedian. There's two reasons why I'm focused on that. It's A, because, like I said, comedy is supposed to be the most outrageous, this is where anything goes. So if you're being thought policed at work, it's not really infringing on your freedom of speech. It's no different from the fact that you might have to wear a uniform at work. It's not what you normally wear. Or you might have to put your hair in a certain way at work. Don't wear it how you normally wear it. You also don't say whatever you like at work. You have to sort of be polite and be a good employee. But when you're out in your life, you should be able to say what you want. And when you're doing a fucking comedy show where it's meant to be like, here's where we say the shit we don't normally say. That's what it's kind of meant to be. It's meant to be like, we don't care here. We're coming here to go mental. We're coming here to go crazy. So if the comedians are being thought police, that's when you know that the thought police are just running wild, just going way too overboard. That's like the litmus test. It's the canary in the coal mine. So that's why I'm focusing on comedians and stuff. It's not just because I like comedy and I'm obsessed with it. It's not just that. It's a very good meter to show you where we're at and how bad it's getting. So I am going to move on, and I'm going to go into the 2020s and the COVID and the election denial and, oh boy, and Elon Musk buying Twitter and how that changed things a bit. I am going to move on, but I just want to focus on one more thing before I move on, because this is important to what I'm talking about. So before I talk about what happened in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, I'm going to skip forward to 2025 and listen to a left-wing comedian complain about how his left-wing thought policing has failed. All of the efforts made in the 2010s has amounted to nothing, and he's super pissed off and bitter about it. His name's Marc Maron. He's a super left-wing, sticks to all the rules. He actually kind of wants to enforce the rules. He's a proper lefty thought police advocate dickhead. And he's really not that funny either. And he's one of those comedians that doesn't stand up. He does stand up, he doesn't stand up. He sits on a chair, which I always thought was so lazy and disrespectful when people do that. I hate it. He sits on a chair on stage and talks to people like he's just talking to them in his room or something. It's so shit. Anyway, let's listen to him complain about how his side of the political aisle had control of everything, and that was a good thing because we were making progress, man, and we were making the world a better place. And now, oh dear, the fascists have come to ruin it all. And let's listen to him and how he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that we're not moving with the times. The times are just you and your ideas and what you want the times to be like, and we're rejecting your fucking ass. Do you know why we're rejecting your ass? It's because when you try to control speech and try and control what everyone says and you're the thought police, that's fascist, you fucking idiot. Anyway, let's listen to this fascist little control freak complain about how he's lost control of the culture and the fascists on the right have taken over, made everything horrible. And, oh no, let's listen.
You know, to be in a fucking club where, you know, I'm walking down the hall at the comedy club, at the Comedy Store, and, you know, in one room, someone's doing their bit about trans people, and then I get down the hall and there's someone on stage going, well, I guess I got to do my bit about trans people. Like, no, you don't. You don't. It's heck now. I mean, you know, you guys got the freedom you wanted. You can now say whatever you want. They're defeated. Their rights have been denied. The policies that you guys encouraged with your stupid material are now policy. And now, like, you know, half the people under the umbrella of anti-woke, we've lost a tremendous amount of democratic-leaning ideas and movements. So whether they knew it or not, that's what they were spearheading. So now it's reality, and you want to still keep kicking them?
You see, this is what people like Marc Maron don't get, and he's never going to get it, all right? This is what, like, hardcore lefties like him. It's like I said earlier, there's really, like, three stages of it. There's the left, as in the people at the top who are actually coming up with this crap. They're the ones that make the rules. And then I said there's the lefty voters who just sort of go along with it. They don't really know what they're going along with. But there's actually, like, this middle section that aren't at the bottom, they're not at the top. They're people that are really on board with the people at the top and are sort of trying to enforce it, and they're really into it. And that's people like Marc Maron. And what he doesn't get, listen to what he just said. He said, oh, you know, they're allowed to say what they want now, like that's a bad thing. Doesn't see that he's the fascist there. They're allowed to say what they want. And he's also overlooking that the audience are enjoying it. Oh, so they're all just spreading the hate. They're horrible people. This is bad. And they've got to make these trans jokes now, even though we told them not to. This is the bit he doesn't get, right? And, you know, these trans people are, like, scared. And what, you want to kick them while they're down? This is what lefties like Marc Maron don't get, is when people go on stage and make jokes about trans people or make jokes about black people and do sort of racially insensitive jokes or homophobic jokes. The joke isn't about trans people. It's not about black people. It's not about gay people. When people go up on stage and say outrageous things that they're not supposed to say, the joke is about you, the fascist, control freak, lefty, hardcore, ridiculous dickhead, thought police. The joke is to disobey and disrespect you. And the whole audience is laughing at you. We're not actually laughing at gay people or black people or trans people. We're laughing at the fact that you thought you had control over our mouths. And you thought you could say, you don't say that anymore. These are the times. Move with the times. And we're like, who the fuck are you? I'm going to say what I want. And then someone goes up on stage and goes, trans people, ha ha, gay people, woohoo, black people, yeah, yeah. And everyone laughs because they're like, ha ha ha. Those thought police really thought they had control of us. You actually thought you mattered. You actually thought you had authority. You don't. You're a joke. And we're all laughing at you. And then you stand at the side and don't get that. And you're like, look, now they're just free to hate trans people and gay people and black people. It's like, we don't hate any of those people. Have you not noticed there's black people in the audience laughing at the black joke? There's gay people in the audience laughing at the gay joke. Why do you think they're laughing? Are they laughing at themselves and they hate themselves? And they're laughing at how you thought you had control of the situation and we're all just going, ha ha, gay people, woohoo, trans people, yeah, ha ha. The joke is actually about you, the lefty control freak, and how you're losing your mind. That people are saying things that you told them not to say. Yes! Yes! It feels so good to overcome, to stand up to, and defy your attempts to bully people into submission. And we just stand up and go, fuck off. We're joking about trans people. We don't even really want to joke about trans people. We're just doing it because you said not to. It's about defying you. And you think that you need to come to the rescue and save these trans people from our horrible jokes and save black people and save gay people. The gay people and the black people and the trans people are in the audience laughing at the jokes. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, people tend not to get jokes that are about them. They never find them funny, do they? And Marc Maron, the lefty comedian, the hardcore lefty, he doesn't get that the joke is on him. He thinks that these people have lost their way and they're trampling and kicking people when they're down. No, we're kicking you. Kicking you out. So anyway, let's listen to more of what he has to say. I can't stand Marc Maron, but it's a great insight into the leftist sort of lack of self-awareness, don't realise that they're the problem, they're the thought police, they're the fascists. He just doesn't get it, and he thinks he's telling you what you need to get, what you need to understand. It's so funny. Listen.
You know, you can't separate. Like, if the movement is like, you know, we're being censored. No, you're not. You're not. There's no constitutional censorship issue with your free speech. You say things, and in a democratic shit show of an environment, you know, like Twitter or whatever, there's cultural pushback. And I'm not saying that it was pretty bad in terms of, you know, people getting canceled and stuff. And I agree that was an issue, but that's a specific issue. To frame it as some sort of free speech problem was a misdirect. It wasn't. It wasn't a free speech problem. It was that people were getting cultural pushback. That is not a constitutional issue. No one was being put in jail for saying anything. That's a free speech issue. But my problem is you're going to start talking about anti-woke, and that's going to be your point of view. That's going to be your ideological, you know, grounding for what you do. Okay, that's fine. But why does it have to be the same four fucking things? You know, it's like they talk about the same shit.
Yeah, they talk about the same shit over and over again. It's the shit that you told people not to say. That's why they keep hammering on that, because they're letting you know that we don't care about your attempts to control things. All right, that's why people keep going on about the same things. It's a defiance of you and your rule book, okay? But yeah, listen to what he says there. You know, it's not censorship. It's not a freedom of speech issue because you're not being put in prison. First of all, people in England actually are getting put in prison for saying things, making jokes, being arrested for making jokes. And the British government are saying that they're even, because of the internet, we might have to go overseas and start arresting people in other countries for saying things on these platforms. By the way, this interview that Marc Maron's doing, this is in 2025. This is now. So he should know that. But yeah, also, you know, he calls cancel culture. He admits that it got a little bit out of hand. He admits that it was pretty bad. Yeah. But, you know, you're not getting put in prison. So I hate that. I hate that excuse. It's like if I slap you in the face and then you go, you slapped me in the face. And I go, well, it's not like I fucking beat the shit out of you and jumped on your head all day. Or even if I do beat the shit out of you and jump on your head all day, it's like, well, it's not like I shot you with a gun. So, don't complain about the thing that I did to you because it could have been worse. It's like, fucking hell. Like, okay, so it's not a freedom of speech issue. No one's being censored. We should just let you control everything because you're just right about everything and you want to make the world a better place. So he also says that when people got cancelled, you're not being censored. You're not being, there's no threat to your freedom of speech. What you're getting is cultural pushback, is what he says. Because I'll see what he's saying. He's saying the lefties like him are going, no, we want to change things. We're not happy. You're upsetting people. You got to stop saying what you're saying. You're getting cultural pushback, okay? But he's failing to understand that actually what he's getting now is cultural pushback. People electing Trump, people saying, no, we want freedom of speech. Like I said, the times aren't changing. It's not the times, it's you trying to make new rules. And people are rejecting your arts. It's called cultural pushback. You are receiving the cultural pushback. You tried to take over, you tried to make rules, and you're getting pushback. And then people make trans jokes and gay jokes and black jokes. They're not really making jokes about trans people, black people, or gay people. The joke is about you. Don't you get it? The joke is, sit back down, Marc Maron. Sit down, leftist. Sit down, fascist. You don't control anything. You're no one. Fuck off. You go do your comedy show and do it how you want to do it. This guy over here, he does his comedy show how he wants to do it. And you're supposed to stay out of that. When you cross over and try and control what this other person's doing, you're the problem, actually. The audience will let the comedian know if they're doing a bad job. They won't laugh and they'll walk out and say, we don't like this. We don't need you. We don't need you to control things. Sorry, mate. You're not important, dickhead. So let's listen to more. Let's hear more of this whining and complaining about how he doesn't have control anymore. Oh.
How much shit do you have to give trans people? What is your big problem with gay people? What's your big problem with women? It's like, what is this, the fucking 80s again? And so to me, the problem is that language evolves. Okay, we don't use the word chink anymore. Well, maybe some of them do. You don't use the word Oriental anymore. You don't use the word colored anymore.
People referred to black people as colored people because people like you, Marc Maron, told them not to call them black. You said black was bad, so start calling them colored. Then you changed it because you're never satisfied. You can't stop trying to control things. You're a control freak. You can't call them colored. You've got to call them person of color, which is the exact same thing as calling them colored. And we've eventually just gone, fuck you, we're not listening to you, we're calling them black. Do you know why? Because black people call themselves black. That's just what they are. They're called black people. I'm not actually white. I'm like pinky sort of beige, pinky colour. But I'm called white. Black people aren't actually black. They're just called black. So he's like, you don't call people coloured anymore. It's like, yeah, we don't call them person of colour either. We just call them black because there's nothing wrong with that. Dickhead. So you can just sit there and suffer in your irrelevance, cunt. No black people are suffering from being called black, okay? They're totally fine with it. Don't worry yourself. Just don't worry yourself.
Is that, in a democratic world, people learn to treat other people with respect, communities, and live with it. So this pushback, I don't know what it is.
Oh my God, with the pushback. The pushback. This dude's just so stuck in his own tiny little world, isn't he?